It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show. I'm feeding the beast inside of me. These niggas can't see me lobotomy. Frequent commodity, please do not speak if you lie to me. Bitch, I'm a king, I'm a sorority. Niggas don't think that they honor me. I got receipts when they follow me. Peep the dichotomy. I'm just increasing my cream like the lottery. Body language, I can read like the library. I been composing like symphony. Simple, I shine like a Tiffany diamond. I dance on these beats like the Tiffany. Rappers try dissing me. That shit gon' tickle me. Switch up the topic. Buzzing in Italy. Flow is enticing. They talk about Sicily. Riddle me this. None of these jokers can match on my focus. You soft as a sofa. You need to be shipped. Homie, I'm working. This shit is a shift. You niggas can't pack my chips. No, they be salty, but water's abundant. This shit get redundant. Just jump off a cliff. Never been hustable. Niggas pull sucker moves. Capping, they word is adjustable. Customer service. My niggas be rushing you. I get you injured. It's worth a deductible. Ayy. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody's doing well out there this Sunday evening. Okay? So, something that was, I guess you could say a little unexpected. We got Vic Mensa, who entered the chat the other day. In the midst of all of the Young Miami spin that controversy, conversation, debate, discussion, etc., about the ramifications of the song. Is it bad for the community? Is it bad for the culture? Is it okay? Is it whatever? You know what I'm saying? Vic Mensa decided to come out, and not only did he speak on the Spin That record, but he also spoke on Megan Thee Stallion. Okay? For those that don't know, both Vic and Megan are Rock Nation alumni. Megan currently still with Rock Nation. Vic Mensa formerly with Rock Nation. He's now completely independent, doing his own thing, running his own ship. And salute to him on that. You know what I mean? But he basically came out and just talked about how women are treated differently in music, entertainment, in society as a whole. And I honestly do think that it was a very it was a good take. You know, if you're not familiar with Vic Mensa and his backyard orange tree pulling synopses of the world, go on his Instagram, just take a little scroll through, you'll see a bunch of them. And he just talks about all types of things, whether it be, foreign policy, Palestine, fucking gentrification, inequality, civil rights, human rights, women's rights, the whole gamut. You know what I'm saying? And this is who he's always been. I know people see him in this current stage. Those that have seen him see him in this current stage, and some may wonder where this comes from, but he's always been that. There's always been glimpses of that in his music, sometimes overtly, sometimes coded language. You just gotta listen. But unfortunately for Vic, he never actually accelerated to the highest heights of the music industry, never got that huge mainstream support. So I'm sure there's a lot of people who missed out on moments of Vic Mensa based on a lot of different extenuating factors, whether it be, him not going to a bigger label when his buzz was at the height. He was signed to Rock Nation. He had the opportunity to sign with Ye's Good Music at the time, and he went with Jay instead. Chance didn't go with anybody. He went with Apple, you know what I mean, and took off. Then there was the Image. Right when he was getting his attention, he cut all his hair off and went punk rock in the midst of him getting his buzz. Then there was the Triple X Tentacion criticism. I think it was at the BET Awards and all that different type of stuff. So he had a lot of beef with Drake, a lot of different things that as he was putting out quality music, he just had different things that didn't allow him to like cut through. All that to get to where we are today, right? So not only did Vic Mensa come out with the video, but he actually wrote an entire essay, kind of circulating around Megan Thee Stallion, Massage Noir, and just the way women are treated in this ecosystem. We're gonna read it. We're gonna play the video first, but then we're gonna read all of what he had to say in his journal entry or essay. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull up the video. And y'all know I've been advocating for Megan Thee Stallion on my channel for a very long time, so it's nice to see other straight black men come out and do the same. You feel me? And I don't think he's interested in trying to get no play from Megan. That nigga's married with child just like I am. Like, fuck out of here for those that try to throw that stuff around. Anyway, let's keep it moving. All right, so we got Queen Stallion who posts, not enough people talking about how Vic Mensa is speaking up for Megan Thee Stallion and other black women. Honestly, we need more black men like this. Real 100. Hopefully it ain't too loud.
I feel like Meg Thee Stallion is a good barometer for what you think about black women. Someone recently told me she can't keep trying to ruin people's lives. By getting shot or cheated on? How you ruin somebody's life by them shooting you? How could you do this to me? You ran your body directly into my bullets. Male artists are celebrated for shooting people. On the other hand, female artists are denigrated for getting shot.
Right.
Let a rapper kill somebody, they sails through the goddamn roof. We be like, man, that's a real nigga, man. Or if they get shot, the general consensus is, man, he hard as fuck, man. That nigga survive anything, nigga. A nigga like Iron Man. Male artists are celebrated for having as much sex as humanly possible. For a woman, relationships you've had are used as justification for you to die.
Right.
What's that meme of the white girl with the math in the sky? Here's another thing, Young Miami song. It's an amazing melody. The subject matter is decrepit, but it's a very American record. I feel like the founding fathers could have been singing that song. Where are my scamming ass niggas at? All them damn treaties they was breaking with the Native Americans. It was scamming. Point being, American society is based on scamming. But it seems that women artists are invariably blamed for the situations they inherit. Janet Jackson, case in point. Her titty get pulled out, she get canceled.
Right.
Meg gets shot, it's her fault. Make it make sense. I wrote an essay about this shit on my Substack this week. Comment, subscribe to read it. Rock Nation, you will crumble! That was the funniest shit of all time, bro.
I can only imagine what that was like being in the Rock Nation office when that shit came out. Man, he was there. But anyway, we'll move forward. We'll move forward. We ain't got time for the fuck shit, okay? So let's get to Vic's Substack where he wrote about this. And make no mistake, as it pertains to the Young Miami Spin That record, I understand where everybody's coming from, regardless of what side of the spectrum you sit on, whether you like the record, hate the record, don't think it's good, don't think it's good for the people, et cetera, et cetera. I understand where everyone's coming from. I think the problem is when everyone gets on their soapbox and feels like their opinion is the end all be all. We all have different minds. We all support different things. We all are entertained by different shit, right? So we'll keep it moving. So let's get to this. Megan Thee Stallion and the anatomy of Massage Noir. It says, we making bitches and hoes out our women too much. We can't trust ourselves and we don't know who to trust. Okay. So it says here, I was talking to my homegirl the other day when that dreaded Megan Thee Stallion conversation slithered into the mix. It's crazy how that gets viewed. You know what I'm saying? You just never know what side somebody's gonna fall on when her name comes up. It's one of those topics that always make my blood pressure rise because people start reaching immediately. She and her husband started doing what I've now seen 100 people do when Meg's name comes up, rummaging through conspiracy, rumor, and vibes to explain why she somehow wasn't a victim. You can't ruin somebody's life like that, she said. Look how her career took off after what happened. Maybe her best friend shot her. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Her career took off after that? You mean the woman who had fucking Savage out prior to that? You mean the woman who had Big Old Freak? Do you understand? I was not even listening to the radio when Big Old Freak came out and I heard it on the radio. I wasn't even listening to it. And I said, damn, who that? That take me back to a place. honestly, that's a sound that I wish she would delve back into personally. We'll keep it moving though. But clearly you see, he said he had a conversation with his homegirl and her husband, a dear friend. And this is the type of stuff that he's hearing from the woman in this situation, blaming Megan, trying to erase her victimhood and saying she's out here ruining people's lives. Same script, different day. Donald Trump once infamously said, I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters. Well, in hip hop, the rules of patriarchy harm black women every day, only for our favorite rappers to get applauded for it. And I couldn't help but think about how I've seen so many fans say that how you feel about Megan Thee Stallion is a pretty good barometer for how much you care about black women. Because somehow this woman got shot, had bullet fragments in her body, sat through a public trial, endured endless humiliation, never mind the jail cell confessions and music videos chopping up horses' legs. Nigga. And people are still looking for a 1080p angle where she deserved it or made it up. Not to mention, not even just the jail confession, right? But remember, we read through the judge denying his appeal, and they quoted where he said that she had ample, he as in Tory, said she had ample opportunity to move out the way, duck, run, as the bullets were flying in her direction. People never want to talk about that part of it, but we'll continue. To be clear, this hypocrisy is not unique to Megan. Black women have to produce impossible evidence to be granted the most basic human sympathy. But the scale of this extended campaign against her makes her not just a useful case study, but a useful examination of the gendered rules for how violence operates in hip hop. A man can kill somebody, catch a case, and it often gets folded into his mythology as proof of authenticity. It becomes part of their quote unquote aura. I mean, one of Megan's most hostile conspiracy mongers etched his place in rap history after surviving being shot 9 times. 50 Cent, that would be, because he's also come out and antagonized and trolled Megan as well. And then years later want to come out and say, damn, I'm sorry, I didn't know. Fuck, nigga. He says, I fully admit to falling into this trap countless times. There have been artists that I learned about because they happen to have killed someone and gotten away with it. In my convoluted American mind at the time, that validated their music to me as authentic. Somewhere in the twisted wiring of American masculinity, violence registers as credibility. So many times. When Megan gets shot, however, the violence doesn't make her more legible to people, despite black women being intimately familiar with the ins and outs of gun violence and domestic violence. Instead, people are immediately skeptical, and that reflexive difference tells you a lot. In one breath, we celebrate murder as a stripe on a powerful man's belt. In the next, we denigrate a victim of attempted murder as if having bullet fragments in your body means nothing. And then we get people like Nicki Minaj who make a song called Bigfoot in a Beef and say bullet fragment, bullet fragment, bullet fragment. In 1 minute, you're saying she didn't get shot, but then you want to say that it was bullet fragments. Make it make sense. The ire directed toward Megan baffles me, but it also feels completely in line with the dominance of misogynoir in our culture. People like to talk about hip hop like it's some rogue monster detached from the rest of society, but Yasin Bey said it best on Fear Not of Man. People talk about him, and for those that don't know or remember, Yasin Bey is Mos Def. People talk about hip hop like it's some giant living in the hillside, coming down to visit the townspeople. We are hip hop. Me, you, everybody, we are hip hop. So hip hop is going where we going. Black on Both Sides intro. Listen to it if you haven't. Hip hop is an extension of the people. If the people are sick, hip hop is sick. Hip hop didn't create misogynoir, but it certainly packaged it well. Some booming 808s can make contempt for women feel cool, especially contempt for black women. And Megan landed right in the middle of that machinery. No matter what path she chose, she was destined to become the villain. I remember when her case was in the news and how many friends of mine were constantly casting doubt on the harm she experienced.
Fuck that bitch, she lying was a common thread of conversation. Friends of mine who publicly supported her got backlash online. We all saw her trauma turned into slogans, habits, and punchlines in real time. Part of why I can't let it go is because I'm a brother. As somebody with two sisters, I find it hard to wrap my head around any scenario where one of them ends up in the hospital after a firearm is discharged in the presence of men, and I need no more information than that. From a young age, I understood myself as their protector. That instinct felt natural. I also recall how quickly violence not only attached itself to that role, but often stood between me and being actually able to help them. I remember some boys messing with my younger sister on the playground one winter as powdered snow laid out like a little wonderland, and I just remember flying across the blacktop to beat this boy Daniel. Another time, my older sister had a taxi driver stalking her when I was in high school, so I brought a group of my friends to her neighborhood with bats and chains and stalked around the perimeter of her house for hours. Taxi driver, I would think that's an adult. Fucking weirdo. Both times, I felt I was doing the right thing. It felt righteous, even. That's what men do, right? Yet my constant excitement at the thought of bloodshed alienated me from being able to truly protect my sisters because they stopped wanting to tell me things. They knew my lust for blood would likely make their lives harder. What I inherited was the idea that violence was the only available form of protection. That's one of patriarchy's tricks. It convinces men that aggression is care, that control is love, that volatility is evidence of devotion. A lot of men spend their lives believing that. I still find it difficult to detach my perspective as a brother from how I look at Megan's situation. All I can think about is the context people ignore. She didn't shoot anybody, didn't assault anybody, didn't call the police. In fact, when she got to the hospital, she lied and said she stepped on glass. That's important to me. Her instinct wasn't to weaponize the system, it was to contain the situation. And now that very hesitation is being used against her, with one of the common lines of conversation being that she wasn't shot at all. Instead, people point to her drinking, her relationships, and her sex life like it's some proof of moral deficiency. And that's something that I have endured for the last few years. Of course, no more than she has, right? She has to live this. I document it, I speak on it, but she lives it, right? But it's something that I see all the time when her name comes up. Even today, even as I make these videos, I anticipate that there's going to be at least one or two, perhaps 5 to 10 people in the comments that are going to make certain comments about her drinking, her relationships, and her sex life in that very same way, as if those are all reasons to justify her being shot or being shot at in the first place. Right? We'll continue. In recent years, hip hop has become far more open about mental health and substance abuse. I do think I played a hand in that as an artist, speaking openly about my mental health long before it became commonplace. Fans and commentators alike have grown more accepting of artist struggles, how drug use, PTSD, and trauma intertwine, especially for Black artists, often coming from lower socioeconomic conditions. For those that don't know, Vic Mensa was also very open about his drug use and abuse, his ventures with LSD and acid and all that different shit and liquor and just getting his life in control. Male artists get to unravel in public all the time. Trust me, I would know. We can self-medicate, crash out, sabotage relationships, overdose, and disappear for months, and fans call it a part of the process. They're young, they're hurting, they're figuring it out. But Black women rarely get that grace. Instead, their coping mechanisms become indictments. If we use Megan as a case study, there's a huge focus on the way she was coping. She lost her mother, who was also her manager and who ushered her to success. And she had to pull the plug on life support herself just as the seeds her mother planted were blossoming. And then she lost her grandmother. We know the Black family is matriarchal in many ways. Oftentimes, the grandmother is the second mother. I can hardly fathom that level of loss, so when I hear conversations about her drinking and having sex, seeking escapism from that insurmountable pain, used as proof of why she doesn't deserve justice, I'm disgusted. Points are being made. And what's crazy is, as men, even when people just talk about her sexual history, like we know everybody she slept with, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Like, you look at some of the men in the industry and who they've been linked to, and not just the stars on their level, but like the fucking Instagram roster. Come on, man, stop it. And then, of course, when niggas go through stress, come on, man, let's act like you fucking been around the block before. But anyway, let's continue. He says, my sister Aja, that would be Aja Monet, activist, poet, etc., told me once, be careful how you allow them to make jokes about your people. Mm. That even plays into the recent Kevin Hart shit. We'll continue though. After the latest round of recent public discourse about Meg, I saw this evil meme, a line of men standing behind Megan, basically reducing her to a train joke. It was such a foul and sickening representation of the parasite of women hating in our society. We celebrate and champion famous men claiming to have slept with hundreds or thousands of women. Then we turn around and make AI porn dragging a powerful woman for having relationships. Not to mention the AI deepfake video of her allegedly having sex with somebody that was circulated under the guise as being real, which ended up getting somebody sued and owing $75,000 that they don't want to ante up for. We'll continue though. If we are to evolve as a society, a woman doing that, and a black woman doing that no less, but we'll continue. If we are to evolve as a society, it requires us to inspect the ways we think about celebrity. Often we make judgments on public figures under the assumption that because they pursued fame and wealth, they invited our scrutiny, and because it's just entertainment, we detach ourselves from the human implications of our judgments. It doesn't matter if that black woman is a PhD professor, the president of Harvard, a CNN columnist, a local activist, a hip hop artist popping pussy in a thong at the top of the charts, running for president, staying home raising kids, or sitting in the belly of the beast inside America's prison camps. Black women are not offered the luxury of weakness. And when shit hits the fan, they are often first on the chopping block, very often at the hands of black men. There is no salvation to be achieved irrespective of black women, no liberation, no advancement, no progress. The responsibility is on each and every one of us to triumph over our learned patriarchy, to recognize this fallacy, and to hold the internal psychological debate necessary to transcend the narrow confines of a society that has always hated the black woman. Black women are my people. They're your people too, regardless of your race, gender, or sexuality. We are all derivatives of black women. Talk about it. Mitochondrial Eve is the unbroken matrilineal DNA that binds all human beings alive today to a singular black female ancestor. It's time to start acting like it and reject our eagerness to punish women for existing outside the boundaries we've set for them. Megan is just one very public example of what happens when a black woman fails to fit neatly inside them. But whether it's Megan, your sister, your neighbor, or your friend, there is no version of justice and no version of liberation worth pursuing if black women remain the easiest people to discard on the way there. Very eloquently stated by Vic Mensa. And it's even crazier when the subject of Megan Thee Stallion comes up, because just about any other human that's endured what she has, any one scenario that she's endured in the past 6 years, 7 years, a person would use as, either an excuse or, give me some grace, or I had a rough time, I was going through something, I didn't know where I was going next, this, that, and the third. So just imagine what it would be like with a fucking back to back to back to back to back to back to back cycle, not to mention whole entire fan bases ganging up on you, online campaigns going against you, all for what exactly? Because a nigga decided to throw his fucking life away by shooting at a woman over some bullshit because he couldn't take being talked to a certain way in a ride to her crib. Ride to her crib, by the way. We're not gonna do this. But salute to Vic Mensa once again for using his voice. Unfortunately, his voice isn't as loud as it could be, but I appreciate him using the voice that he does have, especially as he's been getting recent favor, getting documented, getting talked about for these videos in his backyard. literally brands stealing from the imagery that he's placed in his backyard. Look it up if you don't know about it. But yeah, it's wild, man. Salute to Vic nonetheless, especially as he's somebody who's no longer associated with Roc Nation, but still willing to come out and speak on behalf of her. Because, you know, sometimes when people leave, it's assumed that everything becomes enemies. And it's good and refreshing to see that's not the case with this. All right. Let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Salute to Megan Thee Stallion as she's making her debut in the fragrance world as well. Hot Girl Summer perfume. You know, she's got her what is it, tequila line. She's got Popeyes franchises. I think she's just did an endorsement with one of those fizzy pop gut health companies and stuff like that. So she's still keeping it pushing. She's still excelling, still going forward, still going upward in motion despite all the bullshit. So salute to Megan for that as well. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Be sure to like and share the video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. I'll see y'all a bit later, man. Peace.
Yeah, family over fame in this bitch, yeah. The glory of living righteous is setting in. My street knowledge and education's a perfect blend. Young mogul, independent, I've been setting trends. The first one from my family to be faithfully wed. Fuck niggas and the horses that they riding on. I see this shit from all angles like a polygon. I'll never politic and the drama be piling on. Father and great son acknowledged like I'm Bobby Bonds. Conversation with my lady about the paper route. 5 sit bank accounts every day I make it count. They down talking my commentary for hating now. Well, I can take it cause I'm bodying your favorite now, please. I can do this shit in my sleep. I been writing for these niggas, y'all read it and weep. I been fighting these niggas if you speak on the street. I'll turn your birthday party into New Year's Eve. Don't let me take it there. We ain't playing fair. This the ATL, Southside nigga moving furniture like Wayfair. Life on hold, no insurance for your healthcare. Lifeline gone, so you wanna be a millionaire? Well, let me tell you about this world I built. The women I dodged, the niggas that I read for filth. The sympathy cause consulting for the stacks I built. I had to